Hello everyone and welcome to Mail Day. Today's Mail Day is sponsored by our good friend and viewer Steve from Durham, North Carolina. If you enjoy Mail Days, then that name is probably familiar, as Steve has sent some remarkable, amazing items over the last few months and the last few years, from Yellowstone scrapbooks and photo albums to pictures of the Dixie Cup women in Easton, Pennsylvania, to Phillipsburg items, to military diaries, scrapbooks, photographs. It's crazy. It is crazy what he has found and what he has so kindly sent to me. So because this package that Steve sent was it was huge. Like my post office worker Joe was like, you could have fit inside that box. Like, it was massive. I'm actually going to split this Mail Day video into 2 parts, so you'll have to stick around for part 2 and see what else Steve has sent. But it's going to be an adventure. First, a little recap of what's going on. Well, welcome to December. When I put this video out, it will be December. Another year has gone by. Crazy, crazy. Now, I did not meet that lofty goal of getting to, I think I said 75,000 subscribers, but I know that it will happen, and the 100,000 will happen. Some people just take a little bit more time, and that's okay. You know, I'm in competition with one person, and that's myself. Striving to be better every day. But for those that are new and that are new subscribers, or perhaps that were subscribed a few years ago and then somehow got unsubscribed and you're back, well, thank you. And I hope that you continue to enjoy all of my upcoming videos and adventures. And what an adventure I had with this camera yesterday. In the video yesterday, that was the storage unit video. Nothing crazy, but that's the reality of these storage units and storage pallets. I think we have to remember that not every unit has a jewelry box, though I finally did find one, or, you know, someone's insane train collection or their antique collection. We kind of get starry-eyed by all of the reality shows of storage units and pallets, but it's nice to remember that there are just your regular, everyday storage units out there, some with treasure, a lot with trash. So, but during the filming of that, I had my camera set up on the tripod. Now, this is a good camera. It's an expensive camera. I have my GoPro and then my good camera. And I was filming the first part, and all of a sudden it was like a tree in the woods. Goes the tripod, down goes the camera. My first thought was, oh my gosh, it's going to completely break the screen off. It has a little flip screen that comes up that you can see yourself as you're filming. And that didn't happen, but the camera just completely shut off, and the lens that comes out, you know, when you turn your camera on, that was still out. So there was an error message when I turned it back on saying that there was some lens error. Well, I know that. And to restart the camera, I was able to get the lens to go back into the camera, and the camera turned on. The camera still does work. There's some dents around the lens, and the shutter, I have to like manually close it when I'm filming. And also I noticed that on the little home screen, there's some kind of just a little bit of damage at the top, but I don't think it affects filming. So I am still able to film, thankfully. The only issue, besides the dents and the shutter, is that I can no longer zoom in fully. So it gets to a certain point and it just shuts off again. So any future travel trips, I won't be able to use this camera for, you know, close-up photography because it'll just shut off. So that was not how I wanted my day to go, but at least the camera is still functioning and working, so that is a plus. But yeah, I did not want to end the year with having to buy a brand new camera. So hopefully this one will still last a bit longer before I have to buy a new one. But yeah, that was my adventure yesterday. Storage pallets and units can be crazy, and that just proves it. All right, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's start off December with some mail. Now, Steve always sends a nice card with a photograph and a little bit of history with the town. And, oh, I like this one. And I remember when he sent the card with the hot dog establishment, and that just reminded me of our hot dog establishment here, Toby's in Phillipsburg, that actually is up for auction along with two other parcels of land that this person purchased, and then they went bankrupt and got into some problems. So now Toby's hot dog is up for auction with, again, some other buildings, which kind of stinks because if someone wanted to just purchase Toby's, they can't. They have to purchase everything else too. So unfortunately, I think what's going to happen is whomever purchases that whole lot, because it's all in one lot, they're probably just going to demolish everything, and who knows what will go in there. It's on the main road in Phillipsburg, and I don't know, an eating place. I don't think a gas station, because the gas station is like right down the next block, but hey, who knows. But if I see a dumpster outside of Toby's, I'm going in there. I can save the sign, maybe. Anyway, so Durham, North Carolina, 2003. This is a photo by Bill Pope, billpopephotos.com. I love that building with the eyes. Now, what Steve does is he labels every little package that he sends, and then the corresponding information here. So I'm going to try not to look at the other bags. I have bags 1 through 4, so I'm going to try not to look at bags 5 through 10. Renee. Fletcher's service station, built around 1947. Oh wow, sat diagonally across from King's Sandwich Shop on the corner of Foster and Gear Streets in downtown Durham. It operated as a Gulf Oil franchise through the 1970s. The original Colonial Revival building, shown here in 1952. There's a printout on there. Seems fancy for a gas station, but there were several other stations around Durham and around the country that were similarly elegant. I can't find any information on exactly when or why it closed, but it likely fell victim to Durham's economic downturn beginning in the 1950s. As was happening elsewhere in the U.S., manufacturing industrial jobs began moving overseas and out of the city center. Little did you know you were going to get a history behind the paper with Steve's package, but he usually does that, which is great. Let's see. In the late 1950s and 60s, the Research Triangle Park, RTP, now the largest research park in the U.S., created white-collar jobs southwest of the city. This drew neighborhoods away from downtown. At almost the same time, the late 60s, the first phase of the Durham Freeway, Highway NC 147, began construction. The freeway project destroyed much of Hayti, an important black-owned downtown neighborhood. Aside from the pool of KTP, remaining downtown neighborhoods suffered from urban flight and a failed urban renewal program that kept the area under construction for 15 years. That sounds like something that occurs quite often, unfortunately, here in the States. The Fletcher's building was abandoned by the time I moved to Durham with my wife, a Durham native, in 1994. Downtown Durham was desolate and somewhat dangerous after 5 p.m. and on weekends. As Durham revitalized in the late 90s and early 2000s, though, many people expressed interest in purchasing the building to repurpose. Unfortunately, the owners seemingly had no interest in selling or redeveloping the site. That also happens a lot too. And then we know what happens when they don't sell it, and then eventually they pass away. Durham had several of these landlords at the time. They owned multiple properties across the city that were ripe for repurposing, but they wouldn't sell. The building remained derelict until 1910, when, for whatever reason, the owner finally agreed to sell. I'm guessing perhaps the price was a little bit more right. Fletcher's was bought with the intention of turning into a beer garden under the management of someone who had been successful with Durham restaurants in the past. Gear Street Garden opened in 2011 and remains a strong downtown business. Oh, that's fun. The new owners restored as much of the original building as possible, including using 1950s light poles in the parking lot. Now that is great. By 1913, the now Gear Street Garden building was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Oh, how cool. Here's a picture here. Along with King's, another renovated gas station is now a coffee shop, Cocoa Cinnamon, and the Boxcar Bar and Arcade. It anchors the intersection of Gear and Foster Streets and the north end of the area, now called Durham Central Park. According to Google Maps, the Durham Central Park area consists of hip venues and repurposed buildings. That happens a lot now too, including a bar and an old gas station, and a music hall and a former car dealership. Other draws include the Durham's Farmers Market, Urban Axe's Axe Throwing. Those things are popping up everywhere. The original Durham Athletic Baseball Field, the DAP, yes, we know about that one. A skate park, and a Dom's Chicken and Waffles. Just outside the Central Park boundary line, the Corpse Reviver Bar and Lounge. What a name. I can just imagine their decor. And the Durham Armory, built in 1937 by the WPA and used as a civic center. The Armory has hosted many famous performers, including Duke Ellington, oh wow, Count Basie, Cab Calloway, the Ink Spot, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Ella Fitzgerald, oh my, and Louis Jordan. The Armory was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1977. But that's history for another letter. We got lots of history behind the paper here. Oh gosh. So what's in the box? This box is a little different from past ones. Mostly the same types of stuff, but a few different topics, because why not? Let's just add more things I need to research. Okay, I want to look, but I don't want to look at the other ones, so we're gonna save that. Let me just see how he says it ends. He says, do what makes sense of these. Continued thanks and best of luck with the channel and your business. Okay, thank you for that, Steve. All right, bag one. Oh my. Photo album showing Nigeria in the 1930s. Wow. In the front it states, photo album of Edward Chadwick, a district officer in Nigeria in the 1930s. I assume he was British. Shots are primarily of the local population, houses, and a few ceremonies. A very few notes in pencil, but hard to read. How interesting. That is something that I do not have. A photo album of that. So let's open bag number one. Alrighty. Ooh, this is a nice looking album. Just the outside of it, it's very sturdy. Photo of Edward Chadwick. At least they labeled, they knew to put the name in there. Oh my, this is lovely. Such a well put together album. You're probably not gonna be able to see anything. I mean, I can make a whole video just on this album. Now, is there a picture of Edward in here? If not, I'm sure he's easy enough to find. That might be him here, actually. This is really neat. Definitely will have to do a photo of video of these photos. Here, if you can see just some of the landscape and the town. That must be him, or maybe it was someone else in his group. This is a very, very nice album. Oh no, there is, like you said, there are lightly penciled notes, so maybe that's not him. I have to get my magnifying glass, and do a bit more research. So here you have, there's someone diving, but then you have someone in your, let's see. Little do these people know that their photographs would make it all the way here and be featured on my channel. Wow. And they're actually really not, oh, these smaller ones are amazing. I also wonder with some of these shots if the technology of the Google image search, if it would be able to identify an area. I have not tried that yet, but that's actually a very interesting thing to think of. Now, I don't know. Trying to see how they slid. I don't know if they would have put labeled on the back. That seems kind of silly because they have pencil notes on other photos, but here's some more of their travels. I think this man should be easy enough to do some research on. I say that now, and then, you know, 10 hours later. Oh, here with their dances. Oh, wow. This is so neat. You have what looks like probably an elder of a community. Definitely going to have to take another look at this. Oh, and there's even a little envelope in the back. Man, this is a great album. Just the condition of it. It certainly wasn't hanging out in an old stone garage with stalactites going down. Wow. Now, for those of you that get anxious and you look up Edward Chadwick, don't give me any details. Don't spoil it. That's really nice. All right, bag 2. A small photo album collection from, oh my gosh, Dr. Hamilton Robert Young, a dentist in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh, originally from Plymouth, Pennsylvania. He was a graduate of Temple and on staff at Jefferson Medical Hospital Oral Surgery Clinic. He's also shown in a World War I era uniform, but a purchase card and an envelope is dated 1932. Oh wow, a lot of other odds and ends, including a letter from his mother and a page from the Wilkes-Barre paper where he is charactered with other people in the town. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see what's in this one. The dentist photo album scrapbook. Oh, wow. I'm gonna have history. I should say I'm going to have. I have history behind the paper from just everything that you've sent me to accumulate for years and years. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. Look at him. Yes, we have the World War. Oh, some of the pages are falling out. Oh. There's all sorts of little bits and bobs. Perfect attendance at Sunday school. Oh, there's a photo, a photo booth photo. It's probably of his mom. State board examination successfully passed 1927. Did he glue that in there? This guy was a scrapbooker and a junk journalist before his time. So here's his state board examination, and he glued it in there, but so that you could unfold it. Wow. Are there any photos of his dentist shop? I'm sure I can find. I wonder if he did those fun ads for dentistry. Mercy Hospital dental staff. There's a little, the bylaws. Oh my God. This is probably a fun dentist. If he made his scrapbook like this, of course, for my son and his birthday, his mother could have made the scrapbook, but still. Oh geez, my darling son. This is 1936. That's his birthday. Was it? Yeah, I was so happy to have you, and you have made me very happy most of the time since you were born. You are a good man, a good son to be exceptionally proud of, a doctor of finest ability. You will laugh and say, that's my mother talking. Aww. This sounds like a really nice family. But all these little pages. Oh geez, don't want to break anything in here. Survived all these years. This guy probably was a good dentist. Oh yeah, here's the sketch. Oh wow. Aw. This is all filled with little notes and pieces of things. Oh, look at the back. Diana of Artemis. The hunt for relief of cold stops with 666. Oops. Goddess of the hunt and the moon. Goddess of grace, modesty, and chastity. Protector of flocks. This is compliments. This was compliments of a drugstore. So it was a fan. Put that on a shirt. Wow. Hamilton, we're gonna find you. We're going to learn about you. I know it. And there's like even like moose on the front, I think. It's probably an elk, but we're just gonna say it's a moose. This is so neat. All right, bag 3. A small, long, thin photo album from Mildred Rowe in North Dakota. Shows farm life from the 1920s. Some nice photos of the farm, portraits of family members, and Weldon with his prize leghorn. Weldon. If your name is Weldon. Oh my gosh. I have all these people to research now. I'm gonna be busy for days. Days, years. Years. I'll be busy for years. Lovely little book. Aw, there's pups. It's a pup. If a photo album starts out with a picture of your dog, we are good to go. We gotta find this prize leghorn. Oh, those men. Pete Elwood. Probably can't see it, but they're very attractive men. They look rugged and ready to rumble. Ready to rumble. Look like they're looking for a fight. Oh wow. Ooh, his last name's in there. Elwood. We are gonna. Oh, that's Edward. No, it's Elwood. Elwood, we're gonna be looking for you. Tippy? I mean, if you have a friend named Tippy. Such handsome men. Let's see. Oh, wow. There's Howard. In 1926. Look at Howie. Now, when I look at this woman, maybe the only thing I'll find is her obituary, if we even find it, because sometimes you don't even find that. Oh my gosh, there he is. Oh, this is Weldon. Weldon and the prize. Oh, Weldon really loves his leghorn, and he has another, looks like a hen named Judy. Put Weldon on his shirt. Okay, so there's Weldon with Judy. And then there's Weldon with his prize leghorn. There's Melvin, Celia. Oh my God, we got Weldon, Melvin, and Judy. And again, how nice that they labeled pretty much every photo in here. Clarence and his farm. Oh, Clarence, what happened to your farm now? Well, Mildred, let's hope we can find stuff about you. This one, again, another video. Easy enough to show all these photographs. That's for sure. Tibby was in the mud. Oh, Tibby got all dirty. That's what the photo was of. Okay, I could just look at these all day. All day. All right, last but not least for this video, again, there's gonna be a part 2. We gotta leave you guys in some excitement. Leave me in excitement. It'll be like Christmas morning when I record the next part. Bag 4. The schooner really catch yacht, Rhonda. Interesting collection of photos, clippings, and other ephemera, including some letters to Mama on loose leaf paper of the beginning, oh wow, of the plan 2-year British sailing trip from the UK to the Pacific. I can't even imagine. This documentation is from the late 1936 and covers the journey from the UK more or less to Gibraltar. The letter writer is Kenneth. We're gonna leave his last name out of there. Do some little research probably. The ship's mate. I believe he is British. Will I be able to find stuff? Will I be able to find stuff? Sometimes my subscriptions to certain things, they do include the UK. I believe he is British. The crew was recruited through an ad in the paper. Can you imagine that? Hey, who wants to sail with me? Who wants to sail my ship from the UK to Gibraltar? I have no idea who you are, but yeah, come along. What are your credentials? It said it's possible he's from the US. We will find out. The only issue is that's a very common first name and last name, but there could be some little tidbits in some of the research that might prove that he is who we think he is. Let's see. The documentation is brief but interesting. They suffer bad weather and an engine failure. Also, they meet insurgents and 3 fishing trawlers armed to the teeth. No big deal. This would have been early in the Spanish Civil War, and they think they accidentally entered a 3-mile exclusion zone off the coast. Can you imagine? I assume the insurgent must have been Franco's nationalist backed by Germany who would go on to win the conflict. The letters have another brief mention of, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Algecaras being bombed. As you know, the Nazis were testing new weapons in Spain later to be used in World War II. Okay. Okay, I just saw something in another thing in the future bag. We have a Merchant Marine album. My grandfather is in the Merchant Marines. I have his little book of his important documents, papers. He also wrote some poems and some short stories. His tickets to, you know, for lunch or for laundry. It's one of my most prized possessions. Oh my gosh. Surprise. There's surprises. I can't read. Okay, we can't. We gotta focus on this one. On the Rhonda. Let's see what's inside. Now this, it looks just like a regular folder with some paper. Make sure. Oh. You open it up. Oh. I love that they have those little extra portions to keep things in. Yeah, if you see this at like an estate sale, some people will probably be like, oh, it's just a folder with like empty paper. And that's when you scoop it in and you look a little more, and then you see what it really is, and then you buy it. A radiogram. Here for a week. Well, love, Ken. I don't even want to think about how those work. Oh, Southampton. Oh, wow. So you have all these little, you can't even see them. Don't worry. Future video. Plymouth, November 1936. Oh, what great. Oh my gosh. I hope that shows up. He is like the sea captain. Wow. These pages are very delicate. This is, oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So yes, here are the letters in the back. Honestly, if someone were to just see this, if you were to just come across this, say, at an estate sale, and it was in the drawer of a desk, a lot of people I think would look at this and just be like, oh, it's like someone's schoolwork. But it's not. I was afraid your sweet sympathy was a little wasted on us. As far as mail waiting for us at Gibraltar was concerned, I was certainly overjoyed to find 14 letters and a cable waiting. It sounds like the woman from the Berlin letters, with all the letters that she writes, waiting for when we get to the PO. I'll have to do some, oh. So here's all these newspaper clippings about their journey. Look at this one, Saturday, November 14th. We are off for Gibraltar. Sorry, I have no time to write. Ken. Hey, Ken, at least you thought of that. Oh yeah, dearest Mama. Mama. Wow. Members of the crew filling the water cask on board the yacht Rhonda in the Catwater today prior to her departure for Gibraltar. That adventure back then, 1936. Let's get in this little boat yacht vessel and just set sail. And to think today, we're there Googling, using our GPS. If we make a wrong turn on down a road, it's like, what do we do? These guys are just put down a paper, find a crew, set sail. Wow. Well, you've given me enough to research for the next 100 years. And as I always say, I hope that I can do all these people justice. I have much to research from all the previous wonderful items that you've sent me. Sometimes even with my own history behind the paper, some things are just a bit easier to research than others. I also have the problem, I guess you could say, of me researching too much. You know, I spend hours on one little minuscule, tiny topic or name. And then the rabbit holes are just, I'm in like a yard of rabbit holes just. That's why when I did the history behind the paper about the beer and the beer label and how much it was worth on eBay, that was a little bit easier to kind of make short. Well, it was short, it was only a 2-minute video. But I assure you, I spent way more than 2 minutes putting that together. But that was easy because while there was a lot of information on Christian, the brewer, there wasn't just a whole plethora. Now, I could have went on and talked about his son and his son taking over the brewery and all that, but I think I just wanted to give a little snippet of, okay, here's a piece of history, of beer history, and we're merging paper with history, or ephemera with history, and you have these beer labels that weren't really meant to last. They were supposed to be put on a bottle. That's it. Here you have these labels that lasted, that weren't put on a bottle. If they were nicely removed, and they're worth, you know, $300 to $600. Like, that's why I love paper. You just never know. And every piece of paper essentially has a history behind it. Sometimes it's a trip to Gibraltar. Other times it's a dentist. Other times it's a farm. And then other times it is a man in Nigeria. So I have a lot of research ahead of me, and we still have some more to open from Steve, so stay tuned for that. I already took a little peek. I won't look any more at the letters. The packages will remain unopened until I open them on camera. But I hope that you will join me for part 2 of this mail day, and we'll see what other treasures Steve has sent in the mail. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much, Steve. You have given my mind much to think about and research. And hey, it's a great way to keep busy, a great way to acknowledge all these people of the past, and hopefully you all enjoy those videos that are yet to come. So until next time, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.